Hello, everyone. So excited today because my wife is going to show us how to make vegetarian pho. And if you're not quite sure what pho is, it's probably because you've been pronouncing it wrong all of these years. Almost every Canadian city in the U.S. has a Vietnamese restaurant, and they feature pho, but the way it looks, the way it's spelled, everybody pronounces it faux, right?
Yeah.
Faux. And but that's what we're going to make today is pho. And my first experience with pho was when I first visited the country of Vietnam in 1993. I had this delicious bowl of Vietnamese noodle soup for breakfast, and it was just amazing. This happened to be the same time that I met my wife, TK, 1993. Who knew that many years later we would get married and I would have a wife that could make me vegetarian pho whenever I wanted. But that's not the only reason I married her. I wanted to make that clear. So, with that, why don't we get started? Vegetarian pho.
Okay.
This is my lovely wife, TK. She's making this video for her English students that she has around the world coming to her YouTube channel. And since most of her students are Vietnamese, she is doing all of her commentary in Vietnamese. But I know that there are a lot of English-speaking people out there who would also like to know how to make a great vegetarian pho. So what we're going to do is bring down her volume and I will do a voiceover in English. So let's start with the translation.
Chào mừng các bạn đã quay trở lại với cuộc sống của TK tại Canada. Hôm nay anh Phong
Many times I have tried pho in the restaurants here in Canada and the United States, and every time I was so disappointed. To me, it just tastes nothing like pho at all. So I decided to start making it myself. In addition to making it for our own family, we have now made this vegetarian pho many times for our friends, and they all love it. Often they ask me how to make pho. Making pho is not really that complicated, but it does take time to do it right, and there are a lot of steps. So this video is first of all for all my friends who have asked for the recipe, and then also for all of those who would like to make a delicious vegetarian pho at home. First of all, we need to make the broth. Please check in the description below the video for all of the ingredients that you will need. These are the onions. We'll need 2 of these. You don't need to peel the skin for this one. We just need to wash it. The same goes for the ginger. We'll keep the skin on. You could cut it in half and smash it a bit.
chúng ta có thể cắt làm đôi nếu mà gừng các bạn to quá mình có thể đập cho nó dập ra chút xíu cũng được. Và đây là củ tỏi.
Then we'll use 1 whole clove of garlic. Again, skin on, cut in half. Now, I like to bake all of these for about 7 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit to bring out the flavor and smell of these ingredients. I just pop mine into the toaster oven. To sweeten the broth without using any sugar, I have here 1 cob of corn chopped into chunks, 1 Asian pear chopped, 2 apples. You can peel the skin off, chopped.
Nếu mình để vỏ thì nước sẽ hơi chát, cho nên chúng ta gọt vỏ bỏ nha.
3 celery sticks. Now, some people don't like the smell of celery, so if you don't like it, you can cut this part out. White radish, one big one, 350 grams, peeled and chopped. And one leek. Half will be used later. The half with the green leaves will be used in making the broth. Now, it's important to note that all of these ingredients are just to sweeten the broth. Because we will not leave these ingredients in the soup itself, I like to put all of these in a nut milk bag, so it will be easier to remove them later on. You can pick these nut milk bags up at Amazon. If your bag is too small to contain all of these ingredients, pick out your biggest items and have them in the pot itself, like these chunks of corn. They will be easy to pick out later. These are already baked and they smell so nice. Even before we start making the pho, it already smells so nice in the kitchen. Now we'll add all of these into the bag as well. Normally, I allow for 500 milliliters for one bowl of pho. Today, we are cooking for 10 people. That's 10 bowls, and so I put into the pot 5 liters of water. To make this size of a batch of pho, you really need to have a good-sized pot. After measuring the 5 liters, I always add on top of that another 500 milliliters. So I now have a pot with 5.5 liters of water. Let's put this bag into the pot. I add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now we can start working on the ingredients for the soup itself. Let's start with 3 onions. For these, we will peel the skin off. I cut these into 6 or 8 sections and put them into the pot now, even while the other bag of ingredients are steeping in the broth. The ingredients in the bag will come out, but these 3 onions will go into the main pot and become part of the final pho. Only after the bag and these 3 onions are in the pot do I turn on the heat. We need to bring the pot to a boil and then let it simmer for 1.5 hours. The reason I like to add all of these ingredients into the pot when the water is still cold is that it helps keep the smell of all of these flavors in the broth. Another way to keep the smell in is to add 1 tablespoon of oil into the pot. While waiting for the broth to get its flavor, let's prepare the veggies that will be added into the broth later. I have here 1 large white radish. You can cut this into any shape that you like that is bite size. I also put in 4 small carrots, but you should know that the amount of radish and carrot can vary according to taste preferences for these kinds of vegetables. Bean curd. I have both the stick and the leaf. The stick I break into 5 centimeter long pieces, and the leaf I cut into 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters square. We will deep fry both of these. The stick later will be cooked in the broth. The leaf bean curd we'll keep aside and put into the bowl just before we serve the soup. It is okay to put in plenty of oil, as after frying this, we will use the oil for other steps as well. When frying the bean curd, the oil will splash a lot, so watch out for this. You might want to put on a mask and wear long sleeves for this process. This is leek. I will chop or cut this and use it in my sauté later. I also have 1 clove of garlic. This needs to be chopped to be sautéed. These are oyster mushrooms and white mushrooms. I will tear the oyster mushroom into small pieces and slice the white mushroom. We will sauté the mushroom and put it aside. We will wait until the last minute to add the mushrooms to the pho, just before we serve. If we put the mushrooms in now, the color of the soup will get dark and won't look very nice. For our meat substitute, we like to use a product called Veggie Burger. But if you can't find this in your supermarket, you can use almost any kind of vegetarian burger, even if it has been prepared in the form of patties. You just need to break up the patties into smaller bits when you are frying it up. There are many kinds of vegetarian burgers in the supermarkets these days that you can use. First, I add in the leek. I fry until golden brown, and then add the mushrooms in. I put in some salt and pepper. We won't cook the mushroom for too long, as that might cause it to become too watery. Just 3 or 4 minutes is fine. We'll put the mushroom aside on a plate for later use. Okay, we are now going to saute our garlic and leeks. When they start turning a nice golden brown, we can add in the burger. We'll fry until the burger cooks and turns brown and is nicely separated. We will also put the burger aside and add it into the bowl just before serving. Now, to give the pho the unique smell and flavor, we need these spices. I use cinnamon sticks, 2, Anistar, 5 to 6 pieces, whole cloves, 1 teaspoon, cardamom, 3 seeds, whole black peppers, half a teaspoon, fennel seeds, 2 teaspoons, and cilantro seeds, 3 teaspoons. I like to put all of these first into a pan and fry them until they turn golden. I really like the smell of these in the frying pan. I also put these spices into a bag so that I can easily remove these before serving. You don't want your friends biting down into these spices, which they might do, especially if it is the first time they have tried pho. These spices are just to add a rich, tasty flavor. After 1.5 hours, we can remove the bag of fruit and veggies out of the broth, leaving only the chopped onion. Then I put in 1 tablespoon of the oil used to saute the garlic and leek earlier. Then I put in the spice bag and simmer for another 30 minutes. "15 minutes after we put the spices in, we can put in the radish, carrot, fried bean curd sticks, and some of the sautéed garlic and leek. At this point, you could add some salt to taste. If you or your family or friends really like things sweet, you could at this point add in some stone sugar. But we like to keep the sweetness natural because we believe that to be the best. So that's why we're just using the fruit in the bag. While waiting for the soup to come to its full flavor, we could prepare the fresh herbs. Now these don't go into the pot. We keep these out and only add them directly into the bowl of soup at the very last minute so they remain fresh and crisp. So, how's it going?
It's going well.
I see you've got most of it going on the stove here.
Yeah, it's almost done.
And these are the flavoring vegetables that you put in right at the end?
Into the bowl before you serve.
Just before you serve the soup, you put these in the bowl?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, some of this is served on the table. It's not into the bowl, but because we...
So people can choose what flavor they want to put in?
No, only this they choose, but this already included. They can choose this one, they can choose the Beansprout, lemon, and
the hot
chili.
peppers. So some people who might not like it hot or spicy,
yeah, they don't have
they
to.
wouldn't put that in. But they choose after it's in the bowl to put this in. No,
Yeah.
You don't cook the peppers.
No, you don't. They put it on the table, so you can choose what to put into
Right.
your bowl.
Right. So we've got green onions, cilantro. What's this?
This one is basil.
Basil, limes, and bean sprouts.
Yes.
And you've grown these bean sprouts yourself, right?
Yes.
So that we know that they're fresh and safe.
Yeah.
And if people don't want to grow their own, they can get it in the store, but they should do what? Boil it first?
Yes, because in the store they said that you have to boil it before you eat. So that's what you should do.
Okay. Oh, I can't wait.
The basil. In Canada, they have so many different variety of basil. So, and it's all smell different, it tastes different. So we really have to look for the one that familiar taste. So I don't know how to explain that.
Now in Vietnam, you'd have other vegetables as well, right?
Yes, we have some more vegetable that we can include it into the bowl, but we don't have it here.
Okay. So the lime is also something people can choose to put in or not, right?
Yes.
They just squeeze it in if they like.
Yeah.
Here come the hot peppers. These are fresh out of our garden, right?
Yes. And it's very spicy.
Okay, and now these are the noodles, the rice noodles, right?
Yes, it's rice noodle.
And normally you make it fresh.
Yeah.
Fresh noodles, right? But today, because we know that most people might not have a pasta maker where you could make your fresh noodles or make them some other way, we want to demonstrate that you can just go to the store. And this is not actually an Asian store that we got these, right? It was just a regular
It's a
supermarket.
Freshco, yeah.
So you can find these in the Asian section of most supermarkets.
Yeah, and look for pho. They have pho. Yeah.
Yeah, right on the front there it says pho.
Okay. So for this we have to bring the water to boil. You put this one in boil for 5-6 minutes. Take it out and then put into cold water. And then you rinse it for a few times. And then it's ready to serve.
Great, let's do it. In a separate pot, bring the water to a strong boil. Add in a half a teaspoon of salt and teaspoon of oil. Then add in the noodles. Let them boil for 6 to 7 minutes, depending on the variety of noodle. We want to boil it till it's soft and is cooked thoroughly. Rinse with cold water for 1 minute. If you are not ready to eat immediately, add in some oil so that the noodles won't stick together. When we are about to serve, we can add the mushroom into the pot. Before serving, bring the noodle water back to a boil. Rinse the noodles in the boiled water for about 20 seconds. Then put the noodles into the bowls. If we don't do this, the noodles being cold will make the soup cold as well, and we don't want that. We are now ready to serve. Put your warmed up noodles into a soup bowl. Add the burger, fried bean curd leaf, green onion, and cilantro. Bring your bowl over to the soup pot and pour some of the broth into your bowl. As you do this, make sure to get good portions of the mushrooms, carrots, radishes, and bean curd sticks from the pot into each bowl. Grind some fresh black pepper on top and serve. Wow, that looks great. And it smells so nice in here.
Dạ. Mình cho giá sống vô nè, một ít rau. And you want chili to give you the spice?
Yeah, I do. What we're doing is a little taste test before the friends arrive. We're having a group over. Now, a pot like this, how many will that serve?
I think 10.
10?
Yeah.
Before you eat, don't forget the limes. Squeeze lime juice from the freshly cut limes into your bowl. This will bring the pho to a whole new level.
Okay, now it's ready for you to try.
Okay.
Mix a little bit because
sure. Now normally, when you go for pho, as you probably know, the bowls are much bigger, right?
Yes.
This is just a taste before the friends come. Make sure it's okay.
But
right?
even though it's small, but it's quality.
Yes. So, for people who have never had pho before, do you normally just eat with chopsticks, or do you have a spoon as well?
Spoon as well, so you can get a soup base. Nice.
There you go.
Normally they will have something like this pho and this one, and then they get a little bit of the soup together. That's how you take them together. Too spicy?
Yeah, you could take one of those out, I think.
This one, just to give you the taste, don't eat this one because
Yeah,
it's so
yeah.
spicy.
Because these are fresh out of the garden, they're pretty potent.
Also because our chilies is the spicy one. It's
The
different
really
from...
super hot
Yeah.
chilies, yeah. So you
So-
might want to caution,
You
use caution.
Should try one with the soup.
So I'll
Papa.
just try one with the soup, okay.
That's all right.
Yeah. Did you try it?
Not yet. I will try now.
Like it?
I like
Good
it.
batch? Yeah, I believe we can say this was a successful batch. I really hope that you get an opportunity to try this. I know it looks like a lot of work, but your friends that you have over are really going to appreciate the time that you spent because the taste is so amazing. After they've had your pho, they're never going to want to go back to the pho restaurant again. They're always going to be coming over to your place for pho. The special thing about this is that it is vegetarian. If your friends are vegetarian, or if you have vegetarian friends that you want to serve a very special meal, this is the recipe to try. It's difficult to get good vegetarian pho out in the restaurants, right?
No, you really cannot. Many times I try, but because you see how much things we put into here to make the soup
All that
tasty.
corn and all of those other things you had in the
Yes,
bag.
yes, apple and pear, all things. They don't do that in the store. They just put sugar into that, so the tastes are very different.
Right. So now, if it's meat-based pho, what is in the bag then?
Nothing in the bag. They just put the bones, and they cook it for like 24 hours to bring it to the flavor.
So you're getting the actual kind of bone marrow of the chicken
Yes.
or the
Not the chicken, normally the beef.
beef, yeah.
Yeah.
So that the bone marrow is just seeping through after 24 hours of cooking, yeah. So if you like the idea of eating bone marrow, think about that the next time you go to a pho restaurant. Here it's all fresh, it's all vegetarian. Wonderful.
Do you say I just eat?
I can't stop my wife from tasting this herself. But we want to say that if you liked this video and found it helpful, please share it with your friends. That'll help out our channel. And if you haven't yet subscribed and you want to see more videos like this to teach you how to cook some wonderful things,
Very unique.
very unique things, please subscribe, and that way you'll get to be notified each time we release a new video. So long for now. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.